All right, it was really nice getting to meet with you in person and via Zoom and in class to discuss faculty LA partnerships. If you weren't able to make the synchronous, make sure that you've done your posting and your to replies. And now we're going to talk about what we're going to have coming up in the next couple weeks. So this is going to be a little different in that we're going to do a 3-week session. So it's going to last from now until November 28th. So you're going to want to make sure that you've covered all of that. We're going to have a couple of sort of overlapping activities, but they're kind of more extended, so we want to make sure we give you enough time to do each one. So let's talk about what you're going to do each week and what those sort of bigger projects are. So starting out in this coming week, you're going to want to talk to your LA advisor about a paper that focuses on teaching and learning from your discipline. That's between about 4 to 15 pages. We'll talk more about this in just a second. You're going to talk to your advisor about the survey questions. Remember, we had that video talking about the final project in this class. Well, you're going to want to be talking to your advisor about the survey questions for your final project. And then by the 14th, you're going to email your advisor, CCing Dr. Sabella and myself, that sort of summarizes your discussion, what paper you're going to be looking at, and sort of what you think your survey's questions are going to be. All right? If you are not in LA, you're going to do all this, but with Dr. Sabella and myself. All right? So reach out to us. By week 9, you're going to be uploading that paper. You're going to be doing a short video post and flip about it. And then by the 20th, you're going to be reviewing at least 4 of your peers' videos, or responding to, I shouldn't say reviewing. And then by week 10, you're going to have collected the data from your survey and make up any missing assignments or postings that you have. So let's talk about all those in a little bit more detail now. All right, so for week 8, when we talk about a paper in your discipline, what do we mean? So you're going to talk with your instructor you're working with about their thoughts for a good paper. If you're not, again, in LA, you could either talk to an instructor in your discipline if you're close to an instructor, or come talk to us. Definitely still check in with us. You want to find a paper about teaching and learning in your discipline, not a paper about content in your discipline. So, for instance, you might be a paper on how to use structured writing to teach organic chemistry. Like, say, hey, here's a paper using self-explanations in the laboratory to connect theory and practice. So this would be an example of an article about teaching and learning in the discipline. This is about using a specific type of writing pedagogy in an organic chemistry class. This is not a paper about content in organic chemistry. It's not a new synthesis of a steroid or something like that. It's about how to teach organic chemistry. And those are the type papers that you want to be looking. So if you are a music major, you might be looking for a paper on how to teach music theory to non-music majors, or how implementing classroom structures help students become better writers in English. So how can we, what's a paper on the teaching and learning of a discipline content? Now, if you are in an educational field, you want to choose an article about teaching educators. So for instance, if you're an elementary education major, you might use a paper about professional development to help pre-service teachers facilitate inquiry in math. How do we teach teachers better? You would not want to do a paper about how first graders learn math. That's where the content of what you're looking at, you want to be thinking about how do we teach about that? How would I better teach teachers to teach math? Let us know if you're in this sort of a meta field, and we can help you again with thinking about a paper. Similarly, if, say, you were studying educational psychology, you could use a paper about how students learn theories in educational psychology, but not a paper about ed psych theories. Okay? So how do people teach and learn about a discipline content? If you are unsure if a paper will work or not, contact us. We're happy to talk to you about that. All right, so once you've got that paper, in week 9, you're going to upload the paper on that Friday the 17th. And then you're going to go to Flip and do a short video posting. So you click on that link to Flip. In your video, it's only should be like 4 to 6 minutes long. You're going to say what your discipline area is, what paper you read, briefly summarize the paper, say what's the most important finding, result, or recommendation from the paper, why is this idea important to your discipline, and then share anything else you'd like what you maybe found most interesting or surprising or counterintuitive or related to your own learning or that you really disagreed with, something like that. And that's going to be your Flip discussion. And then by Tuesday the 20th, you're going to respond to at least 4 peers' videos, so 4 peers. And you can either do a video reply or a typing reply, either way, all right? So that's going to be what we're doing for that sort of a paper about learning the discipline. And these discussions are often really rich about looking at, where are things between our disciplines really similar, where are things different, and we can kind of learn from each other across discipline that way. The second area that you're going to be doing, let's again go up to week 8. You're going to talk with your LA advisor, or Dr. Sabella and myself if you're not in LA, about the survey questions that you want to do for your final project. You want to click on this link for resources and instruction for the final project to remember. You can also go down to the final project section in Moodle and learn more about that. But remember, you're going to be doing 2 to 4 questions about how students are thinking about the discipline, thinking about learning the discipline, educational resources, and then 2 to 4 questions about how they're learning specific content. All right. You're going to determine what the question should be with your advisor and how you're going to administer the survey. So it might be in class, it might be via email, it might be in Moodle. You and the instructor decide what you think is going to work best. And this should be something that's useful to you and hopefully useful to your instructor as well. Again, here is the link to the guidelines for the final project if you're unsure kind of what survey questions. Then by Tuesday the 14th, you're going to email back to your advisor, just about a paragraph, and CC Dr. Sabella and myself, just sort of clarifying, hey, this is what we discussed. This is the paper I'm going to look at. These are the questions I'm going to ask. And that's sort of a way that you can make sure that you're clarifying with your advisor, and then we can make sure you're sort of on track for where you need to be for this project. Again, if you're not in LA, you'll be doing this with Dr. Sabella and myself. All right, so you've talked to them about the survey questions. And then by November 27th, all of your data needs to be collected, okay? So it might be that if you're doing this online, you probably want to leave at least 5 days for students to respond to an online survey. If you're doing this in class, you're going to want to have scheduled with your professor to make sure it's administered by the 27th so that you have all of that data sitting in a pile by November 27th. That's going to make sure that students have time to complete it and that you have time to analyze it before it's time to do the final project. All right? So again, over the next 3 weeks, we're going to be focusing on that discipline-based paper of teaching and learning the discipline and of getting those survey questions written, given to students, and data collected. Also during this time, again, if you have any missed work, you've missed a week of posting, there's an activity you didn't do, this is the time to also make up that work. If you have any questions about any of this, please contact Dr. Sabella and myself. We're really excited to sort of see the student input we're getting on these survey projects, and hopefully it's a good experience. Let us know if you have any questions, and we look forward to sort of seeing that information come in over the next couple of weeks. Awesome. Thanks so much.